Radio.
Oh my God, look, two handsome fellas. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Matt Bayerski YouTube channel. Hello.
Hello,
How long's it been?
It's been a while.
I know.
Crocodile.
Guess who it is? Oh my God, it's like, I was just thinking the other day, we were sat at a restaurant talking about some amazing projects that you were going to do, Ole. It was like, this is amazing, and like so excited. And we've come on, what, 5 years, something like that? Is it 4 or 5 years? And now you're in Bali, you're here in Bali. It's like, okay, I only got to find out through Mark Devlin, and he said, oh, Ole's over there. I'm like, no, you're kidding. And most of you probably know who Ole is. You've probably watched him for years and years. If you haven't, he's one of the strip dancers in Marbella.
That's the one.
Right, and Jesus
think you were
Christ,
gonna say
when
that.
I first met him,
Well,
yeah, sorry guys, no, you know who it is.
well,
So
you love my G-string.
I
so-
know, I actually, you signed it for me and it's on the wall. I've never taken it down. So listen, if you don't know who this beautiful soul is, if you've ever listened to the likes of David Icke and well, there's quite a few people in the world who talk about things that most people don't talk about and won't talk about. You were quite famous for false flags at one point.
I'm more famous now than at one point.
I don't know. Are you that? How famous are you now? Like
When
this
it comes
famous
to-
or this famous?
When it comes to false flag, I'm considered number one.
There you go. You see,
And there you go, humble as
Number-
well.
number-
It's unbelievable.
number one false flag guy in the world.
I tell you,
It's
if I can brag a little bit,
Please
my
tell us.
last name has turned into a verb. Hashtag Dammegard or hashtag Dammegarding is to find the hidden clues in the forensic evidence about upcoming attacks and then stop them.
How do you do that?
It's how long have you known?
No, I mean, like, there's got to be intuition, psychic.
No, not at all. It's about the law of karma. You know, what you do comes back to you.
Is that the law of karma?
That's what they claim.
Who's there?
The people, okay, so I was in this field since 1980, top political assassinations, false flag operations, alleged mass shootings. A lot of these things are alleged, I've come to find out over the years. But anyway, in the fall of 2014, I was contacted by an insider who's part of these operations, and he said, you're doing great, but you're missing out on the hidden clues. I was like, what? And he said, there are hidden clues in the forensic evidence. I said, hidden clues about what? About the next upcoming attacks. I said, why on earth would anyone do such a stupid thing? And he said, not my words, his words, whoever it was, said that the way they interpret the law of karma, they're terrified of it because they do so much harm in the world. So the way they interpret this thing is that if they tell us what they're going to do, even in subtle ways, and we don't react, then the karma is on our fault. We should have seen it. They told us. And when you look at it, it's actually like evil has to knock on the door. It's an old, forever
Analogy.
rule.
Yeah.
It's like evil can only do its job if we allow it. So it's just a continuation of that. So to start with, when he said that, I was like, yeah, right. But I put it in my research folders. I've got thousands of them. And then in 2015, when Charlie Hebdo happened and certain other ones, that was the first time I found things that were like, what? That could actually be a clue about an upcoming. And so that was also the first time I stepped forward on international radio. I've done more than 1,100 interviews. And I stepped forward and said, listen guys, I have no idea if this is true or not, but this was what I was informed. These are the things, the pointers, the clues that are pointing in that direction. I don't know, but if what this individual informed me about is true, then the next target would be, and in that case it was Copenhagen. And so I went out on 2 of the major shows in the US, and I said Copenhagen, central Copenhagen, around that train station. And that was on the 14th of January 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So it went out big, and also people in Copenhagen, because I asked them, go on location with cameras and stuff, whatever you see, just film it. and make whoever is there very aware that they're being observed if they're up to anything bad, because it's like with any criminals, they can only do it in the shadows. They can only do it when they're not being observed. So absolutely nothing happened that day. I thought I was wrong. I thought I looked like an idiot, not the first time. At least I did what I thought was correct.
Right.
But then, exactly 1 month later, on the 14th of February, on the hour, the same location, everything, the alleged mass shooting in Copenhagen took place. And that was the first time when I was like, because
Wow.
the clues were first pointing to Dublin, then Paris. Charlie Hebdo happened, Dublin had happened, a failed attack there. And there were four clues I found in one. And so Copenhagen. And then the next one was Florence in Italy. So I went out big time after this one. And the next day there was a failed attack in Italy. So I thought, whoa, I'm onto something here. Because I had this individual not informed me, I
You would never have seen the clues.
No, not at all. And since then, I when something happens, I'm looking for the clues. They're like a psychological type of Dan Brown almost pointers. They can be in many different ways and shapes, pointing to the next one. So up to date on international radio, I predicted or connected 68 of these things.
How many?
68.
68.
Of these alleged mass shootings or alleged terror attack up to 2 months before they actually happened.
Wow.
And I've stopped several as well. So it's like
That's incredible.
it's not intuitive. Maybe I am a bit like a Rain Man, you know, in this area. For some reason, my mind is really good at this. You put me in the kitchen, disaster, you know, ask my sweetheart. I mean, absolutely. She's standing like scratching her head in the background. How come that his mind in this area? I don't know. It's just the way I'm equipped with this one.
Yeah.
And in this area, I remember everything. So I have and also 43 years of hard work and practice have sort of made my eyes sharp.
That's incredible. I really don't know where to go with that. It's just pretty incredible. It's like, you know, is there any form of frustration when you want to tell everybody and you want it to stop, and you know, and it hasn't stopped? And I mean, I would be frustrated, as when I used to do readings, I used to give kind of predictions, and funnily enough, I look back now, and the only thing that I was off by was time. Time was never my strongest point. So I might get it wrong by a week or a month, but it would still come. So that's kind of funny how yours is kind of similar. But I just find it fascinating that the field of work that you're in and I'm in, it's I'm the same. I'm like useless at everything else, but when I'm doing my psychic work, I become alive. It's like something is within me that this is my work.
I know. It's like my dharma. It feels like this is one of the main reasons I was put on this earth, may it be flat or round. Yeah.
Could you imagine doing anything else?
Yeah.
What could you imagine doing next?
I would love to spend more time with music, and I mean, my intention is not to find out about false flag operations. You know, millions of people know now. I've been really spreading the knowledge about what it is all about. So now I get from all over the world people that are decoding these things, stopping them, blocking them.
Isn't it funny how we all have our I wouldn't say gift, but we all have our purpose. And that purpose is like my purpose was like to try and make people feel better. Your purpose is to try and help people see certain things, and it's kind of
it's leading this. We're doing similar things. I think it's just completely different areas, but we're still going towards the same area, because my intention is peace, harmony, compassion, forgiveness. Let's transcend this crap. Let's transcend this madness and create an amazing, beautiful world of equality, of balance.
Do you feel in your heart that there will come a point in your life being on this planet that trans change will happen?
Give us a few months.
Amazing.
And my daughter keeps saying, "You've been saying that since I was 4 years old." Yeah, but we're closer now than ever.
Yeah. No. I used to say certain things, and I've stopped saying them now, because it's like there was a point where I was telling all my friends that the tables had tipped, just slightly tipped, and the good had now started to show itself. And as soon as I said that, everything went wrong.
No. I can more or less tell you when that was. That was the fall of 2019.
Exactly, 19.
Yeah. Have you told me that
No.
before? No, because we were, I could feel it, it's happening, the whole empire is falling apart, we're doing it, and suddenly, in on stage came Operation COVID, like, holy moly, that was just like, a whole different ball game was just put in, because we were doing it, I know, we were so close, and then, boom, and then it was...
What upset me most of all, I've got to be honest, is that I'd spent 20, God knows how many years, sharing the information that I'd learned, and people were saying, yeah, we've got it, we're getting there. I was looking out into the beautiful world, seeing people being successful in business, starting questioning more, becoming more aware of their health, and I'm thinking, that's when I went onto radio shows and spoke on this channel and said, the table's tipped, now darkness hasn't the same strength. And it was like darkness knew this was happening, and it was like they had to somehow do something drastic to change it. That's how it felt to me, and I felt let down by a lot of my friends on here, like, saw it, but a lot of people just caved in and fell for it. So
it was very sad to see.
My heart was broken.
It was really rough for me as well. I went into
depression.
I've been on the edge of depression many times. I think.
Yeah, me too, mate.
Because it is a lonely road to walk. When I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
And it's a rough one. It's a really rough one, because also with the things that I'm doing, I'm not popular among the dark ones. It's like they're trying to stop me, and it's been very brutal in many ways, and with threats, and we moved country twice mainly because of what I'm doing, and having to start on from scratch, and financial attacks and website attacks and heavy censorship.
And then don't forget the spiritual side of it as well.
It's on the spiritual. It's like these attacks are coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's a matter. So I come to a point where in 2019 I was super optimistic, and then Corona happened at New Year's Eve 2020, and it's just like I just dropped it. I fell because it was like having run this triathlon, and you can see the finishing line, and then suddenly, there's another one.
The
where
finishing line is
you can't even see the finishing line. Is it like 50 years? Is it 6 months? Is it where are we going?
Do you think that's what it's about, though?
I think that was darkness, or whatever you want to call it, evil, completely desperate, just pulling out the last card out of the sleeve, the final attempt to crush us.
So can I ask you then, following up to that, do you think that this is actually the final one? They can't do anything else again, because people are now realised what's happening, people are now falling like flies and sick and all of the stuff that, do you think, I actually think it's never ending. I've come to the realisation that they're always, it's like Disney bringing out a new film every few months, or re-showing the old films, just rebranding them, but the same films again, because there's a new generation to fool. So I kind of feel that, you know what, Mark, I've come to terms with it's never going to end unless we, on a personal note, rise above it.
And that's exactly it. It's up to each and every one of us. I mean, the only one I can change is this one.
Yeah.
That's the only one. I never try to push anything on anyone. I don't try to persuade them. I'm here at whoever's service. If they're interested, I will deliver. I'm not trying to. So, do I think? I think that we're in a process of dying and being born right now. It's like a squeeze And in this squeeze going through this birth tunnel, it's like it's any impurity or problem or issue that is not healed will be squeezed out of us like a tube of caviar, and we have to deal with it. They're just coming, these things are just coming up. But once we let them go, I hope it's the final, and just like if you got twin fetuses in the stomach of a mother, they're lying in there talking to each other. I mean, like, what does it look like? That's life for them. You know, they have no idea what life is like on this side, and it's just a matter of going through a tunnel, pain, squeezing, torture, never ending. It's never gonna have, you know, like absolute horror. And then suddenly, boom, out on the other side, new life.
That's actually a lovely way of looking at it.
And when you look at a butterfly, what is it called? I mean, you've got a fat little bugger.
Yeah, bugger. Fat little bugger.
A fat little
Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yum, 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 yum.
And
that
then
eats his way around.
Yeah.
Does this individual, can this individual even imagine having colorful wings that can just take off? No, he's moving with a speed of like slow, and just focusing on eating for some future.
No idea why. I just know I need to eat.
And then one day he's just like, I'm so tired, I'm fed up, I'm overweight, and so he goes into cocoon and rests.
Yeah.
In the cocoon, suddenly he starts dissolving. His whole body goes liquefied. That I don't think that's pleasant. I do not think that is a pleasant process. And some parts of the caterpillar's body turns into suicide cells that commit suicide, just like this part of the population now has somehow voluntarily just jabbed themselves, let me die, to energize the process of that. They call them, it's a specific term that I forgot now, but something like suicide or kamikaze cells or something like that, where they say, I will do it, and then they do, and the energy of them dying energizes.
Sounds like a bloody ritual.
I'm saying that's how a butterfly is.
No, it's incredible. I've never thought about it like
out
that.
of this liquid soup of absolute confusion and horror and pain and I don't know what it feels like inside there, one day it just unfolds its wings and suddenly it can take off and fly to places that this little bugger couldn't even imagine.
It's what a wonderful and a beautiful analogy and a way to put it. So maybe the pain and suffering that humanity is going through could actually be some kind of karmic process or some agreement, written agreement before they came here to be part of that transition from darkness to pure light. I don't know. I even just the thought of that upsets me because I don't want to see anybody hurt in any way, and that's been my issue, struggling to see people being hurt.
But listen, Mark, once upon a time there was another fat bugger, his name was Buddha, and he said, listen guys, there is pain. That's basic rule number one. There is pain. That's it. This is built on pain. Number two, your trip in life is to find ways to deal with it. But it's not. Show your arm.
Exactly. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. We know.
So we were not born into a paradise if we choose to be a victim. But if we see that pain is needed to get born, just like a baby, that's not painless. It is painful, I think. But what can you do with it? If you are being born, if this is part of a birth process, if you fight it or if you relax, what would be the less painful?
Yeah, of course, relax through it, just go through it.
That's
I would have
exactly
thought so.
Yeah. The more you can just sort of
let the process happen.
Let it happen and just surrender yourself into whatever flow of energy there is. So what I try to do is not judge and say,
no, you don't judge. I can tell you that for a fact, guys. Ole does not judge. He's a kind, caring, loving soul. Even though you have been judged, it's kind of amazing, really, the fact that you've been judged and yet you don't judge. It's it's credit to you, mate. It's credit to you, because sometimes like I get triggered when I'm judged, all in like, yeah, you know, you cast the first stone, mate, you know.
Don't mess with this one. No, but it's like it's a journey, isn't it? And no, and I've been, I mean, on my knees in tears and also betrayed and backstabbed, you know, over the years. My family has also been going through stuff. When people have approached me, you know, when you sort of become known, it sort of attracts individuals that sometimes don't want the best for you. And especially when someone like myself is trying to make a difference, sometimes they go close to shut you down.
That's why I keep myself to myself, Ole, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's a double-edged sword, because you actually want to get out there and you want to share your love, and then you realise that there's people out there who don't have the same intention. They don't have that love that you have. They don't have, you know, they want maybe something from you or get from you or do. Yeah, it's kind of a strange world that we live in. But yeah, for me, I can understand why the Buddha sat under a tree for 18 or 20 years. It kind of makes sense a little bit these days. The older I get, the more I become open to just saying anything. Whereas before I used to think, oh, just be a little bit careful about that. Now it's like, I don't think I've got a filter. My filter dropped a long time ago, so I just am who I am now. But I see that about you. You are who you are. There's no filter. You're just honest, and yeah.
But also, you know, before I got into this journey, well, I think I've been on it always, but before it started really to take shape, when I looked in my bookshelf, there were all of these books about spirituality and then serial killers.
You're joking.
It's like black and white, and I was like, am I some kind of schizophrenic? What? I don't get it. What is up with this?
Now you understand why now.
But because I think one part of my journey is to understand evil.
That's what I'm saying. Makes sense.
Why are they doing it? Why leave us alone? You know, and also when I look upon how my family constellation was, with a very dominant father from the military, also living a double life, I'm finding out now, all kinds of things like, yeah,
gosh,
where it's a matter of understanding these forces, good and evil, and so I have come to a point where I try not to judge it too much, not charge it with any emotion, good or bad.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I try to charge it with good intention or good feelings,
yeah,
if it's something I want to attract into my life,
right,
but not hate or anger or anything like that. I see Kill Bill Gates and these type of individuals, or Schwab and these type of individuals. Yeah, what they're doing is horrendous, no doubt about it. But I will not be part of charging it.
You're not feeding it.
I'm not feeding it. It stops with me. You know, so I take it in and it stops with me, and I will do everything to transcend their actions and stop them. Actually, not stop them. I don't fight. I try to. I don't try. I transcend.
Yeah, you. When I spoke to you last a few days ago, I noticed that you're very careful with your words now.
Yeah. So I am. I tell you, if you look at my Skype context, I've got assassins and former black ops and killers and CIA and
so you can't have judgment. You can't have judgment, then, can you? You can't be opinionated and have judgment if you're dealing with people like that. You've got to sit on the fence, no? You've got to not. I don't judge people who came for readings with me at all. I didn't. I just said okay, and just be open about everything.
Yeah. Okay, Mark. So if you got somebody that has slaughtered people.
Yeah, which I had.
You had that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you know it's a really like whoa.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like Jesus said, not judge the sinner, judge the sin. You know, judge the action, not the soul. Because indirectly, sometimes these are, I think, put here to teach us stuff.
That's exactly part of my understanding as well. And that part, all the things that you've said, a lot of people here will kind of interpret the same as what I say as well, because there's definitely something in all of that. But it's fascinating for me. It's like, you know, my dad was in the military like yours and wasn't a pleasant guy. He used to beat all of us and it was awful. But I learned to forgive the man, but not the actions. And that's again another thing that we're just crossing the same, we're walking the same kind of, I call it a tightrope, trying to figure everything out and not fall off along the journey.
I haven't been able to find a manual. I mean, maybe guys like Buddha and Jesus were saying, you know, like, this is a shortcut. I think really Jesus was a super hacker. I think in this matrix, he figured out, okay, listen here. So how does this work? Okay, you got, everything is made out of frequencies. It's all one and it's all frequencies. Okay, so how does this work? Well, apparently, if you take a low frequency and a high frequency and let them meet in a laboratory, it's not that they start fighting and they come up like 50-50 in the middle. The lower one gets a node. That's a law of this, whatever we're in. So I think you got a very low frequency feeling like fear or anger and these ones, and higher feelings like gratitude and also love, the one that we label not lust but love, pure love, is apparently the highest of the highest frequency, that higher than the frequency of thought even. So I think Jesus just went with his bearded face, okay, if that is true, if a higher one annuls a lower one, then whatever the problem, meet it with a higher frequency, and while you're at it, choose love. Whatever the problem is, choose love. So he was not a wuss saying like bend over, pull the pants back, say I surrender. He was a rebel, a rebel. And they were kind enough to say, thank you so much for telling us these secrets, and we're gonna nail you to a cross and remember you forever. But he was saying there is a shortcut, and I think that he was onto something very important, that love is the way. Love is the way. And so when I meet these dark individuals, or the ones that I meet, most of them have been dark, and something has happened, like a near-death experience or something, or Jesus had actually come to their cell or something, and a major shift happened. So that this soul went like, oh my God, what have I done? And then they completely changed and they devoted their life to redeem their actions and so on. In that case, it gets confusing with the judgment here, because I can judge the one before, the actions of the one before. I can really admire the actions of the one now. And so should I judge this for them? I'm right now in the process, I kid you not, of communicating with the man that fired the final headshot at Kennedy. I kid you not. I'm talking to him at the moment. He's 81. His name is James Files. He was the guy at 21 that was one of the shooters around.
There was more than one, right?
Oh God, the whole place was packed with shooters.
That was
1, 2, 3. No. I've been a speaker 3 times in Dallas as well, and I know many of the key people in the area. Also, sons and daughters of agents, of assassins. That it's like our generation is here to heal whatever they did. And anyway, so I'm here with this individual who did that. He did it from a point of, he didn't care at all. He was 21, but he was already had killed many people for the CIA and also as a soldier in Laos. And so he hated Kennedy, but it was nothing personal. He was asked to do the job by somebody he adored, a hitman from the Chicago mob. And he said for him, it was just a matter of like, it was just like taking out the trash.
Yeah. I made a video about this the other day.
He could not care at all. He did it. He was asked to be a backup shooter. If there was no headshots before a certain point, go for it. So he fired one shot from behind the picket fence, and that was the shot that got me started 43 years ago. Wow. Can you imagine? No, so now I'm in direct contact with him, which is like it's for me. It's really hard to wrap my head around it. And I have his phone number. Wow. It's like I can call him now, so we're setting up like an interview, I hope, but he's not in a bad, he's not in a good health.
No.
But he is spiritual. wise. He's been, so what I want to say is
so he went through the process of being that negative. Now he's won redemption, and
he was in prison for many years, not for this murder, and then it came to a point from there were different reasons why he stepped forward, but he would have preferred not say a word. It was only negative things that could happen. He would gain nothing from admitting that his life turned into from hell to even worse from him stepping forward doing this in the mid 90s. But he did it after Jesus came to him twice in his cell and said, "Listen, my son, you need to shape up, because I think his message was needed for this healing to occur in the world, to understand what actually went down, and he's a super important piece of the jigsaw." So also in 2016, that was how it happened. I didn't even know that he was out, I thought he was going to rot away in jail. And many researchers are not taking him seriously. I don't get it. I do not understand. He has never said something that was not exact to the point. I never caught him with a lie. I never, so it's incredible to have one from the inside that could do. And so he's been fighting to be heard. It's whatever. So in 2016,
it's ironic.
It's
the man that killed this man now wants everybody to know, and nobody's listening.
That's not true. I'm listening big time.
Well, I meant, the world.
And I've been standing up for him, and I've been standing up for Lee Harvey Oswald, the guy that was blamed for the assassination, but actually tried to stop it. And in my world was a hero because he sacrificed his life trying to save the life of Kennedy. Here I am supporting the one that actually finished that life. It's like very bizarre. Anyway, so in 2016, without me knowing him being released, I got a friend's request on Facebook from somebody called David Armstrong. And so I was just going to answer, accept, and I thought, that's Jimmy Files. What the hell? Because he has got long white hair, he's got a very specific look. So I was like, I wrote to him, is that you, Jimmy? And he said, yes. I thought, I almost fell off my chair there. And so I started communicating with him there and asked about very specific details that I've been wondering about. He could answer all of them. And he described, because I also was trying to find out, is he really who he says
is he genuine or not? Of course you were. That's the whole point.
And when I was in Dallas, I went to the motel where he was staying. I went, all of these things, I followed in his footprints exactly. Anyway, it ended up with, I got a donation of $100 from him. That was that was a very strange feeling for me. So
this is so interesting.
I think it is. So it's like it's like, and one thing is like solving this mystery. It's also for me to deal with myself when it comes to judgment and how to, how can I point at something?
Yeah, no, it's hard for people to get that though.
And how can I really admire him, and I completely detest what he did.
I know what you're saying.
I mean, that was the most brutal, cowardly, awful ambush to do a thing like that. He was part of that. What he did was horrendous, and I admire him. The backbone for him to stand up like this against all odds.
Well, I find that when people get older, they like to, kind of absolve the sins before you move into the light.
Come on, he was like
why is he doing it? Why is he doing it?
He was in his 50s when he started talking about
really? So this guy's been around then?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's 80 now. No, 94. He was. Oh, it's a long story. Do you want to hear it?
Why do people not believe him?
There's
got to be a reason. There must be lots of reasons.
But I feel that many researchers are like scientists.
Right.
And you're brought up and you think you know it all.
Right.
Sorry.
No.
But people,
not being judging, but it's true.
I find a lot of big egos in this world of international speakers and researchers and stuff. Instead of us saying, listen guys, we're a bit lost here. I think I found a piece here. Tell me more.
Work together.
What about you? No, it's not like, it's very much like this.
Well, maybe they all want the headline.
whatever it is, I'm a one-man band just like you, because I don't even want to get involved. I'm just saying, like, here we have a part of world history that is willing to talk to us. He's been willing since the mid-90s, and very few have taken the opportunity to do it. I even offered.
Why didn't they take him out?
Kennedy.
No. Why don't they take this guy out?
Yeah, it's a long story.
Right. I just wondered, like, if he was so dangerous to the change of history, then they would have taken him out. They take lesser people out every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big question mark. I'm wondering as well, why did he not die in prison? But I mean, he lived in prison. He woke up every morning full of hatred, thinking, who is going to try to kill me today? Who do I have to kill? That was his normal day. It was a very brutal prison. So he is a hard guy. I mean, he was a hitman for the mob. He has been part of so many different. He's also been sent around the world as part of a group called Operation 40 or Group 40, doing political assassinations. And he was there when Salvador Allende was murdered on 9/11 in '73. He was there. He was the one that delivered the bomb that blew up Orlando Lettier in Washington D.C. He was, he's been around, because this world of assassins is very small. Because it takes a very specific type of individual to be good in this area. So if you're good, you're used. Yeah, and many of them have been under the wings of George Bush Sr. and been used to deal with crap. So they're in Vietnam, in Chile, in Argentina, in many of these different areas, in South Africa, you got in Europe. And so when people have been standing up against them, it's just like sending the voice. They've got a mobile team of assassins, and he was one of them. He says he was part of the worst scumbags in the world, and he was the worst. That was who he used to be. So not a nice individual. I tell you, we were in Dallas, Kim and I was one of the speakers, as I mentioned, and there was, lovely people, incredible people, and other research. I was like blown away. I got to meet Jim Mars, who I love.
You got to meet him finally.
I did. When I was walking around in Dallas, I was like, the speakers had their chairs along the wall, and I was just like looking, okay, so where's my name? Okay, I'm over there.
Yeah.
Next to me, Jim.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That on its own had just been, oh my God. I mean, I loved him. He loved me. He loved Kim. We got invited to his ranch, and he died before then.
What a shame.
Yeah, what a shame. And Fives think that he did not die naturally.
Well, his life and his work will live on forever.
Do you know how big he was? He was super short.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that.
I did not, and his
persona, his energy.
Oh my God, so
it was larger
big.
than life.
Yeah,
no. He came across. Yeah. On radio, when you listened to him, you could just feel the power within the words and the love and the passion about wanting to change the world. Just like you want to change the world and make it better, and you do it in the way that you do. And it's a specific work that you do. It's very narrow, and it's like what I do is very wide. My aspects is all of spirituality, lightness, darkness, and it goes in many directions with healing, whereas the kind of pinpointing certain things that we have to try and deal with and help and try and stop, like you do. It's like, I find it fascinating. That's why I asked you, have you thought about ever stopping it and doing something completely the opposite? And like you said, you want to.
No, but it's. I remember when we were in lockdown in Spain. Yeah. And you were there as well. We were locked in for months, and then after that, Kim had fixed so that we went on a sail trip to learn how to sail, because we were planning on
sailing.
Just get out. Yeah. And so we spent like a week on the Mediterranean. I disconnected like this, boom, so easy for me. I could just let it go.
Really?
Oh my God.
So it's not eating away in a thought. Like for me, I can't. I wake up in the morning and I can't.
No, and I can't either when I'm here. And
Right, but when you were on the boat,
jump, disconnect.
maybe I should do that.
So
As long as it's not a submarine.
so peaceful. So no, so I can easily do it. It's just that I feel it ain't over yet, you know. But I don't know. Sometimes maybe I'm feeding it by focusing so much on it.
That's interesting.
So sometimes
very
I've been
interesting.
feeling like whoa, whoa, whoa. So I'm at a point where I'm very careful with where I put my energy.
Yeah, and your words.
And my words and my feelings, because I sure as heaven doesn't want to feed this thing.
It's interesting. I was just thinking the other day, I've noticed in the circles that, like you and other people, I've noticed a lot of people are changing.
I know.
There's a huge shift happening.
I know.
And it's a cliche, to be honest, everybody says it, but I do actually think there is a massive shift.
There is. When I don't want to polish my halo, but when I started speaking, thank you so much. I'll polish yours. It's like a DJ. But anyway, so when I came into this area, it was after 2012. That was when I really moved forward, because I took a step forward, and then I needed spotlight on me not to be terminated.
Right.
So I became the hardest working man in alternative media, as they said. I was everywhere, but it was for security also. Because
clever.
make sure, because if you're in the middle, you can very easily suddenly
disappear.
drive by poof,
Yeah.
or suicided, or end up in a bathtub, you know.
Yeah.
So when you're in this area, I'm just saying, in this
I know.
specific area, it's a brutal one. So anyway, I completely lost what I was talking about. But,
I can't remember. You were talking. We were talking about the change. We were talking about
Okay. So I came from a point of with Raj Yoga.
Okay.
The whole philosophy. That's why I do not agree with you in certain ways when you said that I'm very specific. I am like a laser light there.
Yeah.
But my approach is like
It's
this.
really wide. Yeah. Maybe I
Super
got that
wide.
wrong.
No,
Yeah,
you did not.
Yeah.
But I feel I'm like this, but
Yeah.
with a laser pointer here, because I felt many people that get into the world of conspiracies
Yeah.
are all over the place. It's just and it's this
Well,
and that.
that's true. That's
and it's just like when
that is true to a point. But I don't see you as. I see you for. Your work is focused.
I'm laser.
Yeah.
You
Very
know.
focused. So
I'm-
that's what I meant by you know,
and I completely agree with you. And yet I come from this. My
perspective. Yeah.
my,
yeah.
my
I understand what you're saying
intention is
now.
like this.
Yeah.
My focus is like that.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I think because otherwise it's like digging a well. You know, if you dig a little here, dig a little there, you're never gonna find water.
True.
You have to and then go for it and just keep going. And sometimes I feel, like when I look at humanity, it's almost like the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
Where they had this beautiful Colorado River and then stopped it. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, who came up with that idea? Brilliant, not.
Yeah.
So anyway, block. And if you see humanity as the water,
Yeah.
so many leaders of the water have no idea, why are we stopped? I don't feel well. Why can I not continue?
Yeah. That's a good
I
analogy.
need to be energized. I need movement. No, we are being blocked. And so the pressure of all these billions of liters of waters that are building up, if you focus on one point on the wall
Yeah.
and just keep knocking.
Yeah. Eventually.
Boom.
Yeah.
I tell you, it only needs one little
thing.
crack,
Yeah.
one crack through, and the pressure will on its own just make the whole wall go down.
Do you
like
know
this.
what? I love that philosophy, but I've come to my narrow-minded through what I've learned and what I've seen, that I don't care how many little them happens. When they happen, people, it just goes straight over their head. I mean, this idea of when UFOs are going to be acknowledged, it's all going to change. When we find out it's a flat Earth, everything's going to change. When the killer of this person comes out, it's all going to change. all I see is people saying, eating the popcorn, drinking the Coca-Cola or the beer, say, right, what's on next?
But Mark, you're focusing out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're focusing on them changing.
I am.
I'm focusing on this change.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's my problem. I think that's my issue all along. All I want is for the world to see what's truly happening, and that, you know, there is no such thing as coincidence. Everything is created. Everything is happening for a reason, in the sense of, everything that's happened to us in these 3 years. And still people don't see it. People still can't see it. No matter what you say, here, look, there you go. Government's just said this. Shit, I don't want to look at it. Not interested. But hang on a minute. That's it. Here's your proof. No, it's okay. Just get out of my way. Coronation Street's on. What's for dinner? It's chips for dinner. It's like, seriously? You know, and then you
what kind of chips? Under their skin?
Oh, right, yeah, let's not go there, shall we? Let's not go up to them kind of chips. But yeah, I don't know. I
tell you, once upon a time, there was a world that some of us call 3D.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a term. But 3D reality, the way I see it, was a specific frequency, just like on a radio receiver. Boom, like BBC One, boom. In that frequency, people were listening to BBC One, let's say Beethoven, okay? In 3D reality, in that where most of us come from, it's like you believe what you're being taught, you believe that your parents know the best for you and they could never be wrong, you believe the police, you think the government is there to take care of you.
Yeah.
As long as you don't break any rules and you pay taxes, you will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Do not step out. Media is there to protect you. All of these things, that is what you're being told, that is what you believe. It is that frequency. It's not limited, it's not wrong, it's that frequency. Then some of us, for some bizarre reason, decides to say, I'm not really comfortable, it's not enough for me, I want something else. And very often, some dramatic thing happens that takes us on what is called a hero's journey. So we start out on a journey into the unknown, not knowing, and we will be challenged by all kinds of different challenges and dragons to slay and princesses to save and all of these things to go on this journey. Some of us say, oh, this is too much for me, let's go back to safety, into 3D reality, listen to some more Beethoven. But then one day, just like between different radio stations, you have BBC One, and then suddenly one day you hit another one where it's a clear signal. I call it 4D reality. In 4D reality, suddenly the same radio receiver, the exact same one, plays Jimi Hendrix. And you're like, what the heck? I've never heard anything like it. That's incredible. You start speaking to people in 3D, same radio receiver saying, have you heard Jimi Hendrix? And they're like, what? Still listening to Beethoven, and thinking that you're starting to get really weird because you're starting to say things that is odd and it doesn't make any sense. But in 4D reality, you start seeing that, oh my God, we're actually in an inverted reality. Everything I've been told is upside down. It's the exact opposite. Child protecting services are child kidnapping services. The police are there not to protect us, they're actually there to control us. Same with the brutalizers, the same with the military. What the hell, the governments are completely corrupt. I do something wrong, I being put away for 18 years for parking the car wrong. They get away with stealing $2.3 trillion. Nobody really even reacts. What the hell? So in 4D reality, that's where it really becomes a matter of personal responsibility of like, holy shit, what am I going to do with this? What is going on here? Because this is going like this. Your mind is... And many people go into anger and frustration, depression, sadness, despair, all of these ones. Very few people, I think, can just go in and say, oh, it's all okay, not a problem. Most of us are like messed up for a while. And also, many of us make the major mistake of trying to convince people in 3D, saying, oh my God, it is all upside down. Can you not see it? Can you not hear Jimmy? And they say, no, it's Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. No, that's not his name. It was Beethoven. But anyway, so Ludwig. So how can these two communicate? Then you have 5D reality, I think, where you get up to the next level where suddenly you start seeing it's just a trick of light. You know, like the old Greeks said in the cave, you know, the fire is there. We are actually just watching the shadows on the wall.
Shadows.
Nothing is really happening. Good and bad is needed. It's called duality. And in this duality, we can create all kinds of things. Don't add too much, don't make it real. Don't add too much. We'll just spice it up with some beautiful traumas and dramas and anger and romance and everything needed for an incredible journey. Don't take it personal. Go right, you're right. And once you die, not a problem. Just buy another ticket, you're back. Yay, baby. Disneyland, here we come. 5D.
Well, not Disneyland, please. Anyway,
I know,
but
I heard myself there. But it's so like on that one, that's where Buddha and these guys comes in. 4D reality is where the controllers have been all the time.
yeah,
And they're trying to keep us in 3D reality where they can control us
Right.
via fear. It's always only through fear that they can control us. So everything fear-based, that's them. Everything that is not fear-based could be something of value. So to fear and to freedom. So another one, if I can continue.
yeah, no, it's great, loving it.
So-
Am I doing all right, folks? I haven't
I think-
interrupted. I haven't interrupted, and I've been a good boy. He's been
He
a good
has.
boy.
He
I'm a
has
good
indeed.
boy.
Yeah.
Please continue.
I agree, Mark, you are wonderful. So, from that 3D, 4D reality, there was a bearded Buddha that I think in the late 1990s, he said, there's going to be a shift here from the year 2012. Okay, it's almost like a train station and a train. So train station, 3D reality, train, 4D reality. He said at one point, 2012, the people can choose. Do you want to stay on the station, be there, or do you want to get on the train? No judgment. What do you want? So some people decided to stay at the safe train station, 3D. Some got on the trains. Confused individuals like ourselves that was just like, I want more. I'm confused, but this is not, what is this? Not Buddhist, like, it's like, I want more. Whatever the reason is, on the train. So he said, 2012, the train starts, woo, woo, and it starts moving up. People can jump off, they can jump on. It's quite, you can communicate, you can talk, not a problem. You're starting to, if you remember 2012, it slowly started to separate. He said by the year 2015, the train started getting momentum, harder and harder to communicate. He said by the year 2020, not a chance. The train has left the station.
And you can't jump on and jump off anymore.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but that was the idea.
Okay.
Because at that point, it's just like Titanic has taken off. You can bless them and say,
See
on
you
your
later.
way, but you cannot. No, they can't hear you.
Can't hear.
No. So what I've seen though is what I call the popcorn effect. It's like some people that are so square and thick. I don't want to, yes I do want to say absolutely like a hard shell.
Yeah.
Nope, like this one. Very often highly educated, indoctrinated, but it's like mindset of concrete. At a certain point, if the fire becomes too much, just like a popcorn, it pops, and it goes like this.
Wow.
It's like, and you can't go back.
The popcorn effect.
I call it the popcorn effect.
Brilliant.
Because I've seen, even though we're after 2020, when it said that they cannot communicate, I see these popcorn coming, but they cannot go back. You cannot push a popcorn into
The shell again.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So I keep hearing all of these people that saying, oh my God, I'm the only one, nobody understands me, my spouse, my family, my best friend, we can't communicate anymore. How can I convince them that it's Jimi Hendrix playing? I would say, don't even try. You are using words that sound the same, they might be spelled the same, it's not. You are on different wavelengths. what you are trying to tell them. And the world in 2020 came to this point where the train and the train station became very visible through masks or non-masks, vax or not vax. It was like, so the way I see it, I think like just like if they say as above so below, you have that one cell that at one point says, I'm gonna duplicate myself, and it just goes, and suddenly there's two. Was that pleasant for this cell? I don't think so. I don't know. But it's just that I think maybe it's really fearing separation or whatever. But this thing just and became that. That's called life. That's life, the process of life. As above, so below. You look on a microscope, you look in the macrocosm. This. So is that what is happening with humanity now, where we think, oh, it's awful, we're being separated. Maybe because of the creation of life. And so what is the blessing of these times is that the 3D reality people don't have to be completely messed with by us trying to persuade them. Because the way they see us is like, this individual is on some kind of crack, has joined some kind of weird sect, or whatever is dangerous to society, is claiming that the world is upside down and flat and whatever. That individual should be put down or quiet. We're not giving them peace. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So our actions is not doing something good for them. We think, I know best, you should listen because you have no idea. So the only thing you can get from communicating like that is pain.
So, question then, do we stop communicating?
No, you love them, you bless them, you try to support them on their journey. Stop sharing.
I call it forcing.
Yeah.
I call it forcing. When you force, we all talk about this daily, you try and force feed a child and they'll spit it back out at you.
Yeah.
So the time that I say, when is the time to be able to speak your truth is when somebody is open and ready. So there is a difference. So it's not like we're saying no. I don't think you're saying no. I'm not going to even waste my energy, but I am saying I'm here if you ever need to hear.
What I say.
So is that the popcorn effect? Somebody will blow and then they're ready to hear. And
No. It's do you know when you knock on the door?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody knocks on the door, you open,
Yeah.
and it's Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah. Do you feel, oh, come on in, guys. I'll put on some tea. I'll give you some scones, and let's have a nice chat. Most of us feel, oh.
the word Beck springs to mind.
Please let me close this door in the most polite way. That's how 3D sees us.
Right.
When you start seeing your former friend avoiding you walking on the other side of the street, there is a
block
reason.
you on Facebook
Block
or
you on
whatever.
Facebook, treat you like you're the enemy.
Yeah.
There's a reason. And most of us that goes into 4D, I've seen it over and over again. It's like the same kind of feelings like when somebody has died, all of denial and anger and despair and frustration in the different steps of getting it to. When we're in that process, especially when we're discovering like, oh my God, we've been absolutely had. Not in one area, but all of them. When we try to convince people, I say to people, bring a mirror. When you are what you call intense and so happily sharing,
Look at you.
Look at yourself.
Yeah.
Is this somebody? It's like, imagine 3 a.m. in the morning, somebody jumps you in bed and just say, wake up, wake up.
Yeah.
You have to hear that everything is awful, the world is going under, everything is corrupt and evil. Who wants that?
Yeah.
So
you get punched in the face, and spiritually speaking, you do.
For a good reason.
Yeah.
So what I do is, I knock on the door gently, put out a question, if on a plane or whatever, just put out a question, just to check the temperature. Is this somebody who's interested at all? Or is and many times it's better to listen than to, because you know already what you're going to say. Maybe you can learn something from this person. But the situation when kids are involved, it's a different one.
That's exactly what I was.
I completely, because then these ones should be saved from us adults that are doing things to them. Then it's a war zone for me. I will really step up the game and start pushing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
That's when I broke down.
Yeah.
That was the only time I actually broke down when they said, okay, now it's coming out for the kids.
Yeah.
That was it for me.
No, they really love going for the kids.
Yeah.
Not okay.
But actually, you're everything that you're speaking, I can use all that analogy very, very easily in the spiritual sense as well. So everything that you're talking about, a lot of people who watch this channel will relate to what I've said over the years. So the way you come across it's exactly the same message.
Yeah.
It's the same message but in a different form. The train, the popcorn,
Yeah.
and they're great ways of sharing this truth for people to have this understanding. A lot of the people who are watching this were preaching to the converted, but it's still nice to get that different outlook on life from somebody like yourself. And that's why I enjoy doing these videos now, and actually I've enjoyed shutting up for a change. It's been nice listening.
It's also, I'm sort of more on a street level, dealing gang style type of thing. I mean, like people when they say, what do you do? I say, I expose and stop state-sponsored terror and I track down assassins. That's not sort of like a normal elevator pitch.
Like, oh, okay, great, see you later.
Yeah, but the good thing with that is either people go like, oh my God, and they walk away.
Yeah.
Or there's a genuine interest, like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
And I'm a little hesitant to get started to start with,
Right.
even though Kim would say that I'm not.
Right.
But because I don't want to like I can go on forever if there's an interest.
Mm-hmm.
Believe you me.
Yeah.
So there has to be an interest, and also that I feel that this is something that we gain something from. It's not me persuading anything, but especially when it comes to kids and the vaccine, I feel.
Yeah, we all agree with that.
Please let me share information that could be of value. So before you decide to do that to your child without knowing what you're doing,
Yeah.
be informed. Then you can do it.
You'll make your judgment there.
Then you'd make your
Yeah,
judgment,
yeah.
and because you will have to deal with the consequences in whatever form they come.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think we've all been dealing with that from
Yeah.
day one anyway. I mean, this particular, I call it the 3-dart finish. That's sheep farm, Britney Spears 3-dart finish. It's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's throwing darts into
Right.
yourself. That's
Yeah.
why it's just an analogy of sheep farm. But for me, it's like, I think I don't know how many injection children have as babies, but literally you've seen the memes of the little baby and all the injections all the way around them. There's 50, 100, 150. So I think we're always being attacked on so many levels, but there was something very, inside me, there was something very wrong with this particular one, which was, it was almost like beyond all the rest. But even so, the reason why I believe so many kids now have got autism, so many kids now have got chest infections, all sorts of allergies. That's come from somewhere. That's come from somewhere, and it makes sense where it's come from. You know, I think we've come to understand that. But I don't want to lose this channel. I don't want to talk too much about that. But I do want to say thank you. It's been 1 hour, Ole, and for those that don't know you, now have had a taste of who you are. And I always like to say this to my guests. If they're interested in your work, I'll put some links below, but what would you say to people watching who don't know who you are now as encouragement for this next part of their journey, for what you've learned in life? Ah, it's beautiful. She's beautiful. Is it a boy or a girl?
Come on,
It's a
it's a boy.
Hello, beautiful.
I know, how rude is he?
And a beautiful boy. Beautiful. Yes. He's beautiful. And this one's a boy too.
Yeah.
2 boys.
Yeah.
No, leave them. Honestly, leave them. Yeah, I want them to be in the scene. It brightens it up, and oh wow,
Oh.
this is amazing.
Jim has made that.
This is
It's like a
beautiful.
different
That's
picture.
where they like to sleep up there. It's
Yeah.
incredible, so they can look out the window. So kind.
Penthouse.
So
A
kind.
real penthouse.
So anyway, guys, so please, if there's anything that you like for the next few minutes, just give our audience what you would say if it's a 21-year-old guy who's no idea where to go from here. His popcorn's just popcorned. What would you suggest to them from here, where to go and what to do?
I, together with Kim, have created a website called lightonconspiracies.com, conspiracies.com, or dammegard.com. It is a website, light on conspiracies. It's light into the belly of the beast, into the darkest of the dark corner, with the intention of healing, compassion, forgiveness, and absolute no tolerance of bullshit. No violence, no control, no nothing against people's will.
Okay.
So the website is massive. You can stay there for 5 years, no doubt.
Wow.
There's about 6,000 articles, all handpicked by me. There's more than 1,100 of my interviews. I've been in every one of, most shows, not mainstream media at all. I toured in 15 countries, something like that. There's also many sofa talks we had during COVID, more than 200 shows, where we did like a video diary day by day, what was going on, because we didn't know where the world was going. And now we're doing Sofa Talks 2.0. We started again.
Brilliant.
We uploaded 3 videos talking about absolutely normal stuff, and we got 2 strikes. That's like,
Yeah.
with 2 strikes for 3 videos. Interesting. And
So that's a good place to start.
yeah, because everything that is on there, there's a lot of free stuff also. There's a drop down with free content,
Brilliant.
so that you can use it as a platform to start with, instead of being confused, because also the internet is so brutally being censored now. I'm shut down more or less everywhere, and I checked recently, a year ago, 1.8 million views on my hits on my name. Now it's 19,000.
Yeah, no, I
It's
think
like-
we all know that now. We all figured out what they're doing to us. Anybody who wants to try and help people, they're being censored. Anybody who is speaking true, they're just being said it's fine.
We have a cat that is the new team in the film crew.
Beautiful.
So also, my sweetheart Kim and I have had a dream and a vision for some 20 odd years about creating not a community, not because we don't want to be part of a lot of egos messing around and meetings, deciding everything. Absolutely not. It's not a hotel, it's not a business, it's not a retreat, it's a hub for like-minded people.
Light-minded. Nice.
Like-minded
Yeah.
people. Small egos under control, massive big hearts. So the idea is we're right in the process now, after all of these years, to find a big piece of land here on Bali. This beautiful, breathtakingly beautiful.
It is.
Where we're looking for the area, and to build somewhere between 20 and 40 bungalow villas, but bamboo villas of this
Like the
absolutely
green school.
Oh.
The bamboo village. Have you been there?
no, but
Oh, the bamboo work
Yeah.
is
I
incredible.
know. We're meeting the bamboo specialist tomorrow. It's a friend of ours.
Incredible.
But it would be like where everybody lives separately. It's not a group. But it's like how a little town was in the old days. So you have your own privacy, a distance in between, but with hand-picked free thinkers and change makers from all over the world that will come together and
Like-minded people.
like-minded people.
So for 40 couples that may want to live somewhere new, where they, like, I imagine that you're gonna maybe consider surrounding it, and it's going to be like No, it's going to be opened.
Yeah, we don't.
So
like-
people can come in and out as they
Yeah.
please. Okay, so that's cool. But I imagine it's somewhere quite remote then. Is it like
We're
in
not,
amongst?
we're not hiding. It's in the nature, but
Yeah.
easily accessible.
Mm.
It's going to be called Selalu
Ah.
because it's the name we're learning Bahasa, and that word we really love. Selalu.
Light? Is that light?
No,
Not
Selalu means
No.
always. Selalu ahead.
Always.
Yeah, so the idea is always a haven for like-minded people,
Nice.
friends.
Nice.
So also there's going to be like a community, not Charlotte, but hall, like these where
Yeah.
we can have like 250 people
Yeah.
For-
Wow.
for-
That's quite a lot of people.
for workshops, for conferences,
Wow.
for speakers.
Yeah.
And then also we're going to have sort of like a building that we're going to call the Lakukan Studio, where there's going to be a sound studio with, if we can, not if, that is the intention, to create a music studio that will be
Wow.
good enough to attract people like Stevie Wonder and these type on that
Wow,
level, to bring
amazing.
in this quality of creative people from many different areas. And
Sounds a lovely vision.
I tell you,
Sounds a lovely vision, and the vision normally turns into your reality if you believe in it enough.
it is turning into, it's happening now.
It's happening
I'm
now.
getting
Wow.
goosebumps. It's-
Like my thought when you said that, my business brain is like, this probably would work well at Acapulco because you've got your Bitcoin people who want to get away from
It's-
everything.
We've sent out an email now to handpick people around the world,
Right.
an inner core,
Mm.
because we want to be very, very, very cautious of who
Yeah.
we want to mix in the family,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it only takes one troubled individual to mess things up,
Yes.
and
I agree.
we will try to not create that.
Yeah, I mean that's the challenging thing. You have to actually have that kind of same energy, Ollie, and the love and the respect, and exactly what you spoke about
Yeah.
today. That kind of light-mindedness.
That is exactly. If you are not like-minded,
Yeah.
it
Don't bother.
won't work. Don't
Yeah,
bother.
Don't bother. Yeah.
So, but what I've seen is that for one thing, over the years, Kim and I we have a network of amazingly beautiful people from different places.
That's amazing.
People, many
who
that have,
care and want to help.
and who have been walking their truth in different areas. Whistleblowers, change makers, that have just also that have incredible following networks.
Yeah.
So that things that can happen around a fire, with 6-8 people, but that type of people, oh
Yeah.
my God, the beauty of the
Yeah.
creative firework that just happened.
Yeah.
So my vision is that this would be like a remote, but a center that will just pulsate beauty out into the world.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to stay there, I guess that you could easily maybe rent the place out while they're not there and travelling, so they don't have to live there full time, or is that the intention?
No, it would be that everybody who really joins
Yeah.
buys their own part.
Exactly.
It will be a freehold.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
is their house. It is their.
To do nobody's to interfere with them,
No.
but then they can be part of a community
Yeah.
if they want.
But there will be rules.
Not a community, sorry.
No. There will be rules. The rules of the heart,
Yeah, rules of the heart.
and also the rules that
Nice.
it's like don't mess with other people.
Yeah.
Don't kill. It's the old
Yeah,
10 commandments, more or less.
Yeah, yeah, I
Just
get it.
follow them. Do no harm, and
Exactly.
and live in peace and beauty.
Yeah. And if you're having a bad day, just go and sit under a tree and leave everybody alone until you feel better.
We're there for each other as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, many of these individuals I'm talking about have been messed up by life. They walked a very hard life.
Yeah.
But this will be the inner core, and then we have other people that are not hardcore, but are just like beautiful individuals that
I think the right people will find a way there. To be
they're on
honest,
their way already.
I think it'll.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it, and then I'll come back and hopefully you'll let me say hello.
Come and have retreats
yeah,
there.
Yeah. I'm not really big into retreats anymore, to be honest.
Come and
I'm
do
actually
whatever you want.
tired, but giving a talk, would be nice. I like giving a little talk.
We also want to have an Ayurvedic clinic there, which is also
Ayurvedic is beautiful.
yeah, where we can also help the local population. You know, here many have been jabbed against their will,
I know.
just so that they can work for us.
Exactly.
It's like, you know, and the treatments are really expensive. We want to make them, you know.
Yeah, I've seen that in Bali. I've seen that everybody, I mean, I've got a lot of friends here now, and those who created these kind of things, I think it's part and parcel of wherever you buy, you've got to, it's kind of not law, but it's kind of a law that they have, that if you are building anywhere, you've got to involve the local community.
But it's not what we have to do, it's
right.
what we want to do.
Of course, yeah,
we
for
want,
sure.
Because we want it to be like a family. With the people that work for us now, they're like
family.
We love each other.
Yeah, I get it.
That's exactly the way.
That's all you want. You just want to work on an energy of love and respect and I call it equal. I just, you know, namaste. You are me and I am you. Are like.
Yeah. We're trying to avoid these Hindu or mantras.
No, I know. I've got them all over my body. That's the problem. I've got the Hindu one on my back. I've got this one on here. It's hard to, like, you know, you can't rub it off anymore. But I'm all right with it. It's cool. This is my past. And I respect it and love it. But I do believe now that I'm growing every day from it. But yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't recommend tattoos on the body anymore, to be honest. My daughter's got loads now. But,
my daughter has got loads.
Yeah, but we do these things. It's part of life. It's our, I don't know. It is what it is. So.
You asked me if I wanted to say something.
I did.
So I want to finish with a prayer.
Yes, please.
I'm not religious, but I am a spiritual being. And our Kim's and mine spiritual teacher, Nelly Chelram, has this beautiful prayer that I love and I try to live by. I don't try to, I live by it. It goes like this. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May everyone, and especially the ones who hurt us, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Love and light. That's everyone, including the ones that hurt us, be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May the light of truth overcome all darkness, so victory to that light. It's like the assholes in your life are the best teachers. I tell you, I hate it. It is like that anyway. The ones that are really messing with your mind are the biggest teachers, because they're helping you to see, feel what triggers you. Why does it trigger you and no one else? So, in these cases, if you take it on a global scale, we got these assholes out there messing with us, trying to control us, all of that. But indirectly, they're also helping us. Because look at, we are complaining about COVID. What happened? They managed to stop the world, so it came to a standstill instead of this full speed into absolute disaster. How is that possible? That they did it with another intention? Boom. And then two, look now also, we managed to separate into two groups and 3D, 4D on the train. When you're on the train, you meet amazing people. You don't have to go, it won't take you like 8 years to become friends. You're on the train, boom, another friend, another one. It goes so bam. And indirectly, it's thanks to them.
That's beautiful. Yeah. A lot of people will recognize everything that you said, because it sounds almost like me speaking on my videos. So there's definitely a connection there, a higher connection, and I call it the universal energy that we can all tap into and we can all grab. And that's why I sometimes say, be careful for what you think, because somebody can grab it and take that. So if you've got some brilliant ideas, keep them to yourself, because somebody will grab it. No, I'm only kidding. There's enough room in this world for everybody to grab as much beautiful intention and amazing ideas, and that's what I share. Ole, it's been amazing. I'm wishing you all, you and Kim, an amazing journey. I know it's been tremendous thus far, and I see the happiness in you and the joy, and it's a pleasure. and it was it's been way too long. We should have done that. You did an interview with me actually quite a few years ago, and that was really interesting. So it was my turn to reciprocate, and today I think I've done a good enough job, and I've been very good. My gob has been quite. People are going to go, that is Mark. That's something wrong with him. There's definitely something wrong. There's definitely something wrong with Mark. He does not shut up. So there you go. I can do it. So
You can.
yeah, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. So we'll see you soon. Links below. Please go along to all the links and say hello. Send him a message, and if you're interested in living in this beautiful valley, you want to change your life, hey, maybe, just maybe, that's why you're here. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Sounds like you.